I am working on a project with a couple of other people, and the flow in the beginning was very, very easy and smooth and exciting.
Before you got to know each other.
No, it's not like that. But in every project, there is the aspect of the fun, creative part, and then there's the business aspect. And my question is the business aspect, for them, it does not seem as fun. So when we talk about it or when we bring it up, it feels, for them, efforting. And to me, it's like, well, if we want this project to move forward, these things have to be done. So am I pushing, and is it too much efforting?
Well, this is an example of what we were just talking about, where you know something that would be of advantage to all of you, and those who are working close to you don't seem to know it. But your attention to their not knowing it adds resistance to your vibration. Yes, of course you're on the right track. You understand that the creative process is about closing the gap between wanted and where you are. In other words, that is the best definition of what the creative process really is, because life helped you to identify it, and now you've got to find a way of putting yourself into vibrational sync with it. You've got to tune into it. And so people who are doing what humans want to call creation, creative things like music or art, often they understand what we teach so much more easily than most people, because they have shown themselves, just through what they might call trial and error, that if they're not in the receptive mode, the art doesn't flow, or the music doesn't flow, or the dialogue doesn't flow. Maybe not understanding about these things that we talk about here, but they've shown themselves they know how to get into their creative mode in order to receive. But it often doesn't translate back to them then that the same creative mode applies to business. It applies to everything, because it's the receptive mode no matter what the outcome is that you're wanting. And so, yes, it is the same. And yes, it is important. And so how do you find a way of convey it to them?
Yeah.
By not letting their not getting it get you off kilter.
So
that's what we meant when we said you're getting to know each other. In other words, when they're in the creative mode, you are all really in easy sync with each other. But now there's stuff to do that you don't want to do. Esther says to herself on a really regular basis, because this is the part that she loves the most. But there is so much more to what she does than only this. And none of it is as appealing to her as this part of it. And while she has learned to delegate so many things just because there's so much more to do than she can physically do, still, there are many aspects to her life that she must line up with. She cannot find airline travel unpleasant or uncomfortable and stay in sync with all of this, you see. And so that's what the secret to a happy life is finding a way, no matter what, to stay tuned in to who you are, to find a way. You say things like make the best of it, and we over time have offered many phrases like make peace with where you are. These days we're saying you're on your path. Just know that you're on your path and feel for the vibration that feels the best, for the direction that feels the best. We've said for a long time, look for the thought that feels better. In other words, just throw them out to yourself and acknowledge, well, this does feel better than this, and this does feel better than this. If you're in a situation where you can't make up your mind about something, where it feels like you're at a crossroads and you need to decide, first we say, if you're in that place of indecision, you're trying to make the decision too soon. Because as you let it play out longer, it will become very clear to you what the decision is. That happens all the time. But in any event, no matter where you are in the decision process, trying to find the thought that feels the best is always the best. And that's really what focus wheels are about. We think focus wheels, do you know about focus wheels? We think a focus wheel is the most powerful tool for bringing you into alignment that you can find. And the way the focus wheel works is take a large piece of paper and draw a big circle around it like a clock, and in the center draw a little circle. And in the center of that circle, make a statement of what you desire, as our friend just said to us, as though it already is. In other words, make the statement, even though you aren't yet, make the statement, I am, or this is. Make an affirmative statement of what you want, and then reach for the feeling of what that feels like. Well, usually, when you first write that, we're speaking to our friend that we began with today, you are, in a sense, faking it at first, because you don't feel it. You want to feel it, but you don't feel it. But really, there are aspects of what you want that are already active in your vibration, and that's what the focus wheel helps you to ferret out and to focus upon. So the game of the focus wheel is, now try to find something that matches that center feeling that already is, something you already believe, something that you don't have to try hard to believe, something that you already do believe, something, in fact, that you know for sure is true. And write it in a position about 12 o'clock. You're going to make about 12 statements around this clock. Write it there. Very short words. In fact, you don't even have to write all the words. Just write something that allows you then to focus around what you're writing. So in the center of your focus wheel, you could write, we are a dynamic team on all levels, or we are in harmony on all aspects of our business. Now, you don't yet believe that. In fact, some aspects yes, but some aspects not so much. But you write that and then try to feel what that feels like, and then you begin making statements that affirm that you already believe. We're really good at this, and this is really fun, and I see evidence of it here. And by the time you make those 12 statements around, and the focus wheel could take you 5 minutes, it might take you 30 minutes. But the faster it flows, the better it is. What happens is you focus yourself into an active vibration of knowing what, when you started this focus wheel, you didn't know. You wanted to know, but you didn't know it. And so now your vibration is shifted. And because you've taken the time to do a focus wheel, now you are in the receptive mode. And, this is the best part of the focus wheel, you are alert to the subjects of that focus wheel, which means you've brought yourself into a receptive mode where now things can begin occurring in your experience. So now you're hearing different things from your two partners than you've heard before. Now they're more upbeat about things that they weren't about. In other words, your focus, because one who is in sync is more powerful than millions who are not. So your focus, you've set the tone of the project. You're not trying to deal with it by going to them and pointing out the error of their ways, even though sometimes that's necessary if you're in a position where someone needs to unlock the door so that you can get in. But when you practice this focus wheel and bring yourself to a place of alignment so that that's the vibration that is natural to you on this subject, then law of attraction just demonstrates it. And you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it. And pretty soon, as someone said yesterday, you feel invincible. You begin to accept the power of your focus and the cooperative components that come. Sometimes the cooperative components that you are looking for are not logically active or logically present in those who surround you. In other words, sometimes there are those who are outside of what you are currently able to see, who are there for you. But you can't find them by noticing that they're not there in the people that they're not there in. You see what we're getting at? Mm-hmm. So you just have to keep focusing into the concept of what you want, and the universe will deliver it. And often, in fact, in the majority of cases, right from the people who are already around you.
It sounds to me like I do this work by myself. That work, the focus wheel work, I do that by myself. Do I share this information with them because they also...
No. Well, you can teach them how to do a focus wheel.
They already know. That's where sometimes it gets in the way. We feel this is too efforting, so we're going to back off on this. And I'm the one feeling like wild horses can't stop me. I'm moving forward. Get on the bus or not, but we're going.
Well, when you're in alignment, when you're really in alignment, there is a feeling of flow that is the indicator that you're in alignment. If you're feeling some sluggishness from others or some resentment about what they're not doing, then you're not in the alignment that you want to be in. And we've been talking a lot about unconditional, about letting it be about the vibration, and then the conditions will take care of themselves. And that would all be very nice if this was the first day of your life experience here, and you were already full grown and operating in your world, but this was the first day that you were really contemplating life. So we were all starting right there together. But there are bills to pay, and once this seminar is over, most of you can't just go sit by the lake. In other words, you have things that you need to do. And so integrating into this philosophy that we're offering is, as our friend was saying a little bit ago, there is a sort of practicality that you have to apply to it. Jerry was always looking for practical applications of this. You just can't all of a sudden stop. Esther still gets letters frequently from spouses of people, and they want her to stop telling their people to chill out. Because they don't want them to chill out. They want them to dig in. They don't want them to relax and allow. They want them to persevere. They want them to push through. They want them to dig deep. And so there is a sort of conflict in the action philosophy and the alignment philosophy. But in alignment, what happens is you're still inspired to action. It's just action with better timing. And action with really good timing doesn't feel like efforting. It's the action that you're doing in the face of resistance that's efforting, because it's not obstacles that are in your way, it's your own resistance that's in your way. But sometimes it's what you're observing in those who are close up to you that is causing the resistance. And sometimes, in fact, in just about every case, it would be easier for you. Jesus said, turn the other cheek. And what he meant was, don't stay active with something unwanted. You're not going to come into source or into spirit or into enlightenment or into your power if you're focused upon what you don't want and railing against that. We're exaggerating this in your experience because we know that you know all of this. But in very practical terms, isn't it nice that people come to you and get up close to you to help you to realize that you always have more vibrational work to do. There's always more vibrational work to do. And if you will accept that as the efforting factor, and we don't mean it in effort, but if you apply your focus to where your true power is, instead of out here on the edges where you're just always putting out another brush fire, get in there where your true power is and attract those truly in sync with who you are, truly in harmony with the project of your vortex. Because sometimes people, this thing that we've been talking about where you find alignment, and other people are doing it too, and then law of attraction just causes you to dovetail together. It doesn't mean that a person will come to you and dovetail together with you forevermore. It means that whatever is a vibrational match to where you are in any project will come to you when you are needing it. You see what we're getting at? That's blissful. That's just blissful. Esther said, I could never live in a commune because I'd do all the damn work. In other words, I'd be the one going to getting the stuff, and there'd be others out there with flowers in their hair. But somebody's got to make breakfast.
That's kind of how I feel about this project. Yeah. They want to be in the artsy, airy-fairy aspect, and I'm talking about, well, we've got to collect the eggs from the hens, and we've got to get the flour. And
the thing that we so want you to feel is that everything around you is an extension of this alignment. Don't misunderstand. Everything about this time-space reality is about alignment. Esther sat one day, we've told this story several times, she was sitting in specific appreciation of things that were in her life. And she got some momentum going about it. And then her feeling of appreciation expanded to roadways and bridges and commerce and industry. And she could feel all of those who have come before, who were part of the infrastructure that is now supporting her. And she realized that for her, for even a brief moment in time, to fixate on something that isn't working and use that as her reason to, even for a moment, not accept the enormous help that is there with her is really a foolish thing to do. So it's a matter of looking at what is working, not at what isn't working. And of course, life happens and shows you things that aren't working so that you can address it and bring it into alignment. But it never, ever, ever is going to an individual and saying to them, you need to do something different, because they will become even more resistant. They will defend their position to the death, if not openly and overtly, vibrationally.